Over to the AFC, the Chiefs, it was a close one for a while, but they ultimately take care of business against the Bengals here, Jay, on the back of Isiah Pacheco, who runs for 130 yards, catches 7 passes, catches a touchdown, ends up as RB2 from the weekend in a monster performance. For another guy, we talked about zero RB. This was one of those guys in that strategy.
Yep, absolutely. And the thought process there was that this guy has a chance or likelihood to be a number 1 running back in a Patrick Mahomes offense. Now, a Patrick Mahomes offense hasn't meant nearly as much this year as it has in every year prior of his career. But look, Pacheco showed that it is just cartoonish, his running. The style of it's unbelievable.
Stomping.
It is stomping. The arm movement is majestic. But I mean, he showed that he can light up these bad run defenses, and Cincinnati have as bad a run defense as you can have with DJ Reader out. And so he was an absolute monster when it mattered most.
Yeah, Matthew, as we show the Week 17 fantasy leaders, just massive breakout years for both Kyron Williams at the top there and, of course, Pacheco following him from this weekend as well.
I think the biggest takeaway was Jerick McKinnon's on IR. Clyde Edwards-Helaire wasn't in this game, but Pacheco in this game, 7 receptions for 35 yards and a touchdown. And I think that's the biggest thing is, like, we always knew Isiah Pacheco was somebody that was, could be a power runner between the tackles, but the emergence of his passing game usage, we saw hints of it last year in the playoffs, but this year becoming, somebody that can be a true 3-down back for an Andy Reid offense is impressive. And, listen, this is what the Chiefs need to do right now. Other than Rashee Rice and sort of Travis Kelce, it's been a tough year for Kelce down the stretch, but it's really, they don't have a lot of guys on in the passing game that you can count on, and so they got to play good defense and run the hell out of the ball. And with Isiah Pacheco, they can. He's going to be another fun one to rank next year as well. Clearly a fantasy superstar, and he ends the year as the 11th best running back in fantasy.
Last one from this game for you, Matthew. Travis Kelce, through all of the trials this year, he still comes in as tight end 1, but it feels like finally the king of the tight end position is starting to trend downward.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably assuming, listen, I don't think the Chiefs win the Super Bowl this year, but if they wind up winning the Super Bowl this year, I think there's an argument. I wonder if Travis Kelce retires, to be perfectly honest with you. But it's definitely down the stretch. It does feel like I don't know whether it's age or defenses are catching up with them. But over the last 3 weeks, Travis Kelce has less fantasy points per game than Kyle Pitts, right? Week 17, Noah Gray had more fantasy points than Travis Kelce. Over the fantasy football playoffs, when you needed him the most, Travis Kelce was tight end 24, right? He averaged under 8 fantasy points per game, single-digit fantasy points now, and 3 straight for Travis Kelce. And you couldn't have asked for a better matchup than Cincinnati, who've struggled against tight ends all year long. I thought this was going to be a smash spot for Kelce. I was playing against Kelce in the playoff game where Lamar Jackson saved my bacon. The guy I was facing was Tristan Cockcroft. Shout out to my friend Tristan Cockcroft, who does a great job over at ESPN. I was playing Tristan in the finals of this league, and he had Kelce and Jefferson. He honestly had the better team than me this year, and just didn't work out for him because those guys just disappointed for him. Lamar had a 5-touchdown game. But Kelce's going to – here's what I will say about Kelce. I'll have Travis Kelce as my number 1 tight end next year in fantasy, but I'll have him as like a mid-third-round pick, and I bet you I wind up with 0 shares of Kelce next year.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.